Hey all, how you doing? Snooty here. Hope you're all still good. This is the 9,000 day base tour part 13 and we are going to be heading into the end dimension to see what's going on in there. See what's been happening in there, see what's been built. I'll show you what's been going on. What I am going to do very quickly is I am super paranoid about the elytra after what happened, so I think we are going to get it fixed before we go in there, because if the mob switch hadn't have been turned on earlier and I'd have fell into the Guardian farm with no elytra, I think that probably would have been the end of the world. So that's not good, is it? Anyway, let's get in there. We're almost coming up to the end of the entire base tour. We'll have one more part after this, which will be everything that I've currently been working on, and then you will all be fully up to date. I hope that you've enjoyed this base tour, and we will then start our journey heading into towards 10,000 days. We'll see if we can make it. It's been a very long journey. The world is 3 years old and 9,000 days in game. Wow, I never thought that I would make it this far. So here we are at the original Stronghold. Basically, all these rails was to, as in the previous video, was to get a couple of villagers and a zombie to the mob switch. As you can see, everything has all been cordoned off. Just basically a straightforward run into the portal room. And this is the original untouched portal room. Still exactly the same as it was all those thousands of days ago. Wow. Amazing. Right, let's go in. Right, we'll just let it load in just for a second. So, your classic Enderman bus shelter, because before the mob switch was built, this was a good place to come and hide if you started to get attacked. And I'll show you the end island, and what we'll do is we'll start over by the Enderman Farm. It's just so nice and peaceful and nice and quiet. Nothing going on, as you can see. Normally there'd be loads of Endermen going bananas, but not now. So we'll go over to the Enderman Farm to start with, and then I'll show you the other few parts, and then I'll take you over to the mob switch. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see the Enderman Farm actually working, but everyone pretty much knows the concept of the Enderman Farm and how it works. It's been really useful, worked really well. I got ender pearls if I need them, which is really good. If I have too many ender pearls, I can eject the ones that I don't need, especially if I'm just using it for XP. Classic endermite in the minecart. Up here, yeah, here he is. Hello, Mr. Endermite. You've been sitting here for a while. I know. Oh yeah, Bob. I forgot I called him Bob. But yeah, your classic, they all fall down there. It was really enjoyable to build. This was quite early game. I didn't build it all the way down to the bottom level, because obviously it's quite terrifying, really, to be building that close to the void and knowing that you're playing a hardcore world and that you could lose it with one wrong move. And I think probably I would now be brave enough, if I was going to rebuild this, I would probably be brave enough now, and I've got enough experience to actually build it down at the right level. But it worked all this time really, really well here. Nice and quiet now, obviously. So there you go. Classic Enderman Farm. So just over here, you can see that I've basically been mining out the obsidian, hence the gaps, for various projects and other bits and pieces. Quite a useful place to get any obsidian. So there's a couple of areas here. So this is the Nether Star and Wither Rose farm. So I'm sure you've seen these before. You spawn your wither in here, get stuck in the bedrock, and then you can kill it very easily, and then get yourself a Nether Star to make some beacons, which I've done a few times. And then if I need wither roses, I have a little chicken area where I can breed up the chickens and then transfer them into here. I know it sounds horrible, doesn't it? Transfer them into here, and then you can get your wither roses that way. There's no eggs in here. I do need to transport some eggs at some point. A beacon, really, just to help me with the mining of the obsidian. And then the end gateway is just over here, and I'll show you that. Another Enderman bus shelter, just there. And then this was all built as well, basically to mimic the other side. All nice and neat, all nice and clinical. And then here is all the original bridges. Wow. That takes you to the first end city that was ever discovered. It's funny just to kind of come back here and see all this. It's all like history. I can remember me and my son building these bridges together to get to the first end city. You can almost kind of replay it in your mind. And here is the actual first end city that we came across. And the elytra that was taken out here is still the one that I am using today. Actually, let's do this as like a little homage, shall we? Wow. Amazing. I never actually took the dragon head, so maybe one day I'll come back and I'll get it. Let's get ourselves flowing back, shall we? Wow. So much history. Funny how life changes. But I am pleased that I just kept everything as it was. Right, let's take a fly out to the mob switch, shall we? Just in this direction. Follow the railway lines. All the stuff that's been built. So this was actually my 7th attempt at a hardcore world. And there it is. The end dimension mob switch. Exactly the same design as all the previous ones. You got your villagers in there that were traded with and then were pushed into this area here where they were infected to be added to the mob cap. And then this iron golem at one point did spawn. So I decided to just, instead of worrying about him, I just left him. He's not causing any problems. I thought it best to do that. And then you got your ender pearl stasis chamber, which is keeping this all loaded because it's all in the one chunk. And then that's why it's all functioning. Very nice. Okay. I think what we'll do is I think that we'll leave it at that. And I think that we shall move on to part 14. Wow. Been quite the journey. And we'll see what happens in the future. Hopefully I can keep on surviving and survive this long. Hopefully we can make it to the 10,000 day mark. So wish me luck and we'll see what happens. I shall get shooting part 14 and I shall speak to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.